Hello and welcome back to HLS Crypto. My name is Dan. So what we're going to be discussing today is are you too old for crypto? Now, there's a reason why I'm making this video. So today we're going to be talking about it if you're too old. And the reason I want to talk about this is based on a comment I've received and a few discussions that I've had recently. So let's look at the comment. I'm not going to mention names in this video, and I want to talk about the concept more than anything else. It's a little bit different than what we're normally talking about because obviously there's not going to be so much coin-based stuff within this video, but it should give some people an idea who may be sitting on the fence, young and old. But there's a reason. So this person said I'm on a small pension in DCA, and I'm hoping to get to zero point 0.5 of a Bitcoin by 2025, but it's difficult. I've been holding for a few years. So this comes on to risk tolerance for me and how this changes with age, in my opinion. So when you're younger, and this is generalized, by the way, I know that there's always outliers within that. There's some really sensible young people and some really reckless elderly people and vice versa. But as a general, as a collective normal, um, what I would say statistically more likely that when you're younger, you've got a far higher risk tolerance. You'll take more risks, and it can be anything. It can be with your health. You'll probably drink more. You'll probably go out and take more drugs, things like that. Just the excess of youth. A lot of the time, as you get older, you start to do a lot less of those things, and then when you get to a stage where you're quite elderly, then you start thinking, well, what, I can't afford to risk certain things because I've got maybe a husband or a wife to provide for children, grandchildren. There's a lot more going on in that regard than when you're younger. You tend to be focused more on yourself, your friends, you're going out, you're doing things. That's where risk tolerance comes in. So for me, I think that even though this person's trying to get to 0.5 of a Bitcoin, that's great, and obviously she'll have a return on that. There's no problem with that. But I would try and maybe look at a few altcoins just to supplement that for the 2025 bull run. You can do slightly less riskier ones. You can get Quant, you can get HBAR, you can get Casper, Trias. There's a few things that you should maybe look at as well as getting your Bitcoin, Ethereum as well. You're gonna get decent returns with that too. Budgets. So when you're younger, a lot of the time you're budgeting more for going out, having a good time, doing things. And when you're older, and particularly in this country, I don't know what it's like in every single country in the world. I haven't visited them all, but I imagine that some things are pretty similar. We're coming up to winter now in the UK, and a lot of the time, a lot of problems that people face, particularly people who are getting elderly in years, have to heat their homes. Every year in this country, there's a big thing about this because the pensions in this country are awful, the state pensions and things like that. Unless you've got private pensions, then you might get a bit more. But the reality is a lot of people struggle to even heat their own homes, and it's a problem. Mindset is another thing. So very different mindset from when you're very young to when you're very old, and obviously different in between too. But the ultimate mindset and how you want to do things when you're older, like I said before, you're focusing on so many more things, um, about your family and things that you've built up, how to maintain a regular standard of living, because a cost of living crisis affects the elderly and the young proportionately for different ways. Lifestyle and disposable income. So, like I said before, if you're on a pension, if you're not able to earn a decent amount of money each month, then your disposable income will be lower. So you'll be less likely to invest that into things like crypto and things like that, because you might want to help your grandson get his first car or your granddaughter get her first car, or anything like that. You might want to try and get them through university, things like that. You might want to help in that regard. You might want to, some people might have them living with their grandparents. And when you're younger, your lifestyle is very different. And again, this is general. It's not specifically to one person. But a lot of the time when you're younger, your lifestyle is more geared around doing things that you want to have fun with. And you kind of put the reality of life on the back burner, and the reality of life starts hitting harder when you start hitting the 25 to 30 range. And then you start thinking, well, I need to start doing something in my life. Maybe you plan on having children, maybe you want to buy a house, things like that. And all these things are affected. And this will all link back into crypto, by the way. And fears. So your fears are very different when you're younger. You're fearing, oh, do I look good in this outfit? Does my hair look okay? When you're older, you're less likely to be too concerned about that, but you're more fearing about the inevitable end, which is a fear that everyone has, but it seems to ramp up as you get older, and it will. That's kind of natural. And your goals are going to be slightly different, I think. I think your goals might be when you're elderly to maybe upgrade your car, maybe set up your kids for life, maybe do that kind of thing. When you're younger, you're just thinking about like, do I want the Lambo? Do I want this? Do I want that? And your goals will be different, but it's okay because what we'll talk about in a minute is how they can all align anyway. So to answer the question, are you too old? No, absolutely not, because the core principles are exactly the same, and everyone can make it in 2025 Bull Run. Like I want this channel to be inclusive for absolutely everybody. Elderly, young, middle-aged, which I'm probably hitting towards now. Um, Male, female, it doesn't matter. In fact, we've actually got quite a high level of female viewers, which is great. I want this to be open for everyone. I know a lot of the channels seem to be more male dominated, and that's kind of how it is at the moment. But it's nice that we've got female viewers and they're interacting, so that's great. So again, principles are the same. DCA. So whatever your income is each month, try and allocate a proportion of that to go and DCA into cryptos. Now I know as you're older, you probably want to do less riskier plays. In general, again, I'm not saying you particularly because you may be more happy to take a risk, and if you are, then great, that's fine. But if you are into Bitcoin and things like that, that's absolutely fine. Keep hold of that. But I would look into maybe trying to get a few more of them altcoins. And obviously, when you're really young, then you might be picking up one or two meme coins. I wouldn't advise that for anyone, to be honest. But it is what it is. Some people may want to do that. But then you can also look at your Caspers, CSPR as well, HBAR, Quant, Trias, Labs to a certain extent, Jasmy. There's other things you can do. Try and get yourself, a spread range of altcoins. Layer in and layer out, as I said before. Always try and layer in, and always layer up with your profit taking. And there are some profit taking videos that you can watch. I think the very first one that we ever did on the channel was about Trias. It shows you a great structured take profit level, essentially. So I'd encourage anyone to go back and watch that if you've got the time. Take profits. Obviously, don't forget to take profits. There's no point in doing all the good stuff and holding it all the way up, selling it near the top as you possibly can. But there's no point in that's what you should do, but there's no point in holding it all the way up to watch it come all the way back down again. That's just going to feel awful, and it puts you then 4 years behind where you are if you start doing it today. And that's the last thing you want to do, because I think a lot of people have been guilty of that in the last bull run. I certainly held on some things too long. I sold some things too early as well. And ultimately, along the way, I got wrecked because I didn't understand the cycles of crypto. And I want that to be something that you all take from this channel and understanding. Controlling your emotions, we've said about this before. This works for both old and young. Whenever you have that gut feeling, oh no, something's terrible, just take a step back and have a good look and analyze that. Control of emotions. Everyone's guilty of it. I'll still be guilty of it. But I have to try and keep myself switched on in that regard. Don't get greedy. Again, can apply to any age. You can become greedy through anything. Make sure you try and keep that particular emotion well out the way. Know what your targets were. Take your profits at them targets. There's no point holding on beyond that, because you've already got what you want. Yeah, you can leave a 1 to 5% bag to try and go and hit that moon, but that's all you need to do, because you've already got your goal. Like you've got it. Why would you hold on and risk it all, essentially? Have the goals and a plan to exit. So like I said before, clear target in mind of what you want, what you're going to use the money for, what you want to do, how you want to change your life. Have them plans in place, and then have a plan to exit that. And again, I've said before, there are videos. I think HBAR Quant, the Trias video, like I said, have exit strategies on there. And we'll do more videos about exit strategies as we get closer to the bull run, because it's going to become more relevant then, essentially, because right now we're at the accumulation phase. Accumulate and hold. Unless you're a trader, I'm not a trader. It's not something I do. I'm sure there's some great traders out there. So that's it. Really, that's all I want to really sort of talk about with this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know it's slightly different. If you did enjoy it, please smack the like button. And yeah, subscriber wise, we're 14 away now from the 1,000 subscriber mark, and that's absolutely mind blowing to me. So I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. Please, if you can and you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. It really does help. Thank you. And wherever you are in the world, have a great day, a great evening. Enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Bye.